Good morning, ladies. We're on lesson 68, and if you can see, we have more complex fractions. And a complex fraction, remember, is a fraction that has a fraction within its numerator and or denominator. Well, this one has a fraction in both the numerator and the denominator. So I am not going to teach you the way the book does. I'm going to show you a method that is much easier than that. So I want you to tell me, what is the common denominator for these two? It's y, right? What is the common denominator for these two? It's also y. So if the common denominator up here is y, down here is y, what is it for both of them? It's just y. So we're going to take that common denominator and multiply by y over y, because y over y is just 1, and I can multiply by any form of 1 that I want, and it won't change it. It will just put it in a different form. So to make this easier to see what cancels and what does not cancel, I'm going to put each one of those over 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply x over y times y over 1. Okay, you don't have to write this down, but just so you can see what's happening, you see the y's cancel. So all we have left is x. So when we do this, we're going to have x left over right here, plus, when we multiply 1 over y, see the y's are going to cancel, so we just have 1 left over. We're going to do the same thing in the denominator. So here we're multiplying this fraction times y over 1. The y's are going to cancel, so we'll have x left over. If you need to see that, it's x over y times y over 1, get x. And the minus that's in the middle, same thing here, 1 over y times y. These are going to cancel, just like they did right here. So that's 1. So that whole big complicated mess became x plus 1 over x minus 1. Now I will tell you, the way the book showed you to do it was they wanted you to get a common denominator in the top, a common denominator in the bottom, add the fractions, then divide the fractions. So we did all of this in one step, and the method that they show you is a minimum of 3 steps. Okay. So let's try this again. On example 68.2, we have 1 plus 1 over x divided by 7. So in this case, this is a complex fraction that has another fraction just in the numerator. Same process. What's the common denominator up here? It's x. Down here, this is actually 7 over 1. So the only denominator is 1. So what is the common denominator for x and for 1? It's x. So we're going to multiply both the numerator and the denominator by x over 1. Okay? So now when we multiply, we get 1 times x over 1, which is just x, plus, here you can see the x's are going to cross cancel, so we just have 1 left over. In the denominator, we're simply multiplying 7 times x, so we just get 7x. Okay, again, much simpler than the way the book decided to show you. All right, so now we're on example 3, down at the bottom of the page. We have 1 over x, so I'm thinking, okay, common denominator up there is x, and 1 minus 1 over x. Common denominator there is also x. So for the two of them, for x and for x, it is x. So we're going to multiply by x over 1 and x over 1. So here in the numerator, the x's simply cross-cancel, and all we have left is 1. Okay? Down here, 1 times x over 1 is just x over 1, or x, minus here, the x's cancel, so we just have a 1. Okay, so I think we have a couple more of these. Let's see. Yes, on the next page we have, let's come here. A over B. Can't see. A over B plus 1. Divided by x over b plus 4. Okay, so in the numerator, common denominator is b. Denominator, common denominator is b. For both of them, common denominator is b. So we just write it as b over 1 so we can see what cross cancels. Okay, so when we multiply this one times this, the b's cross cancel and we get a, plus here we multiply times b, nothing cancels, we just get b, over, multiply this times b over 1, the b's cancel, we have x, plus multiply 4 times b, nothing cancels, we get 4b. All right. We have, oh, this is it. Oh, it looks like it's a different problem, but it's really not. So when they write a to the minus 1x plus b to the minus 1y, just want you to know that you can't just take that a and b down because of this addition symbol in the middle. These are not all multiplied, so we can't just move these variables up and down to get rid of the negatives. That's super important that you recognize that difference. So this is actually x over a plus y over b over 1 over x. You have to recognize that or we're going to get the whole thing wrong. Okay, so you've got to begin by writing that correctly to start with. So now in the numerator, the common denominator is going to be AB. In the denominator, the common denominator is x. So for both of these, the common denominator is going to be ABX. So we're going to multiply both the numerator and the denominator by ABX. And again, I'm just going to put it over 1 so we can see what cancels. All right, so here, the A is going to cancel and leave me with the BX. So I multiply BX times X and get BX squared plus. Here, the b is going to cancel, which is going to leave me with the a and the x. So we multiply that times y and get axy. In the denominator, the x cancels, which leaves us with ab. So ab times 1 is ab. And you're done. So the most difficult part of this problem is recognizing that you can't just move these guys up and down to get rid of them. You have to rewrite it like this to start with. All right, ladies, have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow.